I just realized there was probably a big echo, but all good. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Let's see what we can get going today. Today's stream is going to be about the subject right here. When we really think about it, when you read the stories, focusing on the Bible at the moment or Abrahamic religions, there does not seem to be many things that God does that it's good. So that's going to be our discussion today. Hopefully, we can get someone in here to chat. I know a lot of the World Cup is going on right now, so might not be many people in here ready to chat it up, but we're going to give it a try, see how it goes. And that's what we'll do. So happy Friday. Happy Friday to you guys. Hope everything's going well. What did I say? Hold on. Wait, what? What did I say wrong? Man, not gonna lie, little tired, but I can get excited. I got my coffee here. Having a little coffee stream. See if we can get some in here, change some people's way of thinking. Maybe not necessarily change their mind, but maybe we can help them out with how they think. So, as always, I'm Jay, so thank you guys for joining. I was laughing at myself earlier. If you saw the first video that's coming out today, came out at midnight because I accidentally I selected. I didn't click the time for it to come out, so I woke up this morning and I was like, "Man, there's a video out," and yeah, my mistake. Oh, you said yo, my bad. What's up, karaoke? Karaoke. I know I'm gonna say your name wrong over and over. I know I've already once said you've already told me how to say it. But anyways, yeah. To start the stream, of course, if anybody wants to just come up and say something, it doesn't necessarily have to be against the prompt. So you're an elevator. I saw your elevator, your first comment. You just jumped on here to make that comment. Said God looks so mad or so angry. Yeah, let's look at that picture again. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Because if you really look at the Bible, that's exactly what God's image is, right? Maybe not looks like Zeus a little bit, but makes sense. So you guys let me know how your week's going. Don't forget to click your buttons, all that good stuff if you haven't yet. That obviously helps the channel out. We're almost at 2K subscribers, guys. I've been at it a little over a year, so that's not too bad. Appreciate the support. I made the stream a little darker today because this is a dark subject, right? We're talking about God's anger today, and some parts where I'm a little bit confused about what God's angry about. I want to save that for if we have a conversation, because I have some things that maybe aren't talked about that much. Maybe people don't think about that much. So I'm hoping to get someone in here to prove me wrong or try to prove me wrong. I know one of the questions, of course, will be, what do you mean by good? Right? I expect that to happen. The Jordan Peterson defense. Let's see. I looked at. I want to watch it today. Hopefully, my wife wants to watch it. Backrooms, the movie. Anybody seen that? Let me know what you think about that. It looks interesting. I'm aging myself here a little bit, but I remember when the Backrooms was like a big thing. I don't know if it's a big thing anymore, but I do remember that. I used to go on, what was it called? Excuse me. It was Above Top Secret was the name of this website, and you could go on it, and there would just be a bunch of posts. Like everybody, I used to post on it too. I wish I could go back and look at it. I don't know if it's still around, and I wouldn't. I don't think I would know my old handle either. I would love to go back and look at some of my posts because they would have to be crazy. Can only imagine what I was posting at like 15. Because I think I was like 15, 16 at the time. And I would go on there and like kind of still questioning some of the same stuff, but it was more of I was questioning about like aliens and those subjects, ghost aliens. So I don't know. I should see if I could go back and look at that stuff and laugh at myself. I think that'd be pretty funny. Looks like you guys are pretty quiet today. Uh-oh. You guys watching the World Cup football? My US people are gonna laugh at me calling it football. But deraging. What's up, man? I wonder who's playing right now. Let me look. Since we're just chilling at the moment, let's see. I don't watch. I don't watch sports much at all. To be fair, stopped watching a while back. Uh, I just got so tired of the ups and down, the emotions, and then I was just like, why am I so emotional for these freaking teams? Right? Like I was a big Lakers fan. Kind of stopped being a Lakers fan after Kobe went away. But 49ers fan. And it's just like, man, I get so emotional about these freaking teams that don't give a crap about me, by the way. Like, why am I letting that bother me? So it's kind of funny. So you got US doesn't play till tonight. So it's Canada at 12. Dean taking a break from politics. I mean, unfortunately, I think the way our culture is now, for sure, we have lost the blurry line between politics and religion. So religion is politics now, unfortunately. Uh, only had one ghost encounter. I'm still not sure if it was a ghost. Maybe I'll get my wife on here one day to tell you. Like, there's a story about when we first met. There's a story. I won't share it right now because it's her story. But I mean, I was a part of the story. But that's the closest I've been to a ghost story. You get emotionally invested in a group. Yeah. Well, here's my thing, right? When the with the group dynamic, of course, we're always going to be emotionally invested a little bit, but I would rather now put that focus towards groups that are really trying to do something now instead of a sports team. And I get it. Like, if you like sports, you like sports. I'm not really condemning people that like sports, but um, there's something strange about how much effort we'll put in for a jersey and a team, but that same effort is not, or we can't gather that much effort together to go help somebody. It's really weird. Like things like the World Cup, Super Bowl, um, all that money that's spent. Why don't we ever do that to actually help people? We'll do it to go watch a team beat each other and play and wear their jerseys, but we won't take all of that money from the Super Bowl or from not even just sports or anyway, like from Oscars or all these events that so much money just gets poured into it. Why can't we just do that and help people? It's a little weird, man. Um, hey, welcome, Credence. Welcome. We are looking for somebody to hop in, so anybody feel free to join the call. Said at the beginning, if you just want to come say hello, you got something to say about the topic, step on up. Anybody can step up right now until we get somebody else. Because we're not good, just like God. I mean, but we can be good, man. So I don't know. It's really weird. And I'm not saying like I get it. We got to have our entertainment. I'm all about entertainment, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing stuff like this. Like, it's entertaining. I'm entertaining myself. Hopefully, I'm entertaining you guys. Having conversations is entertaining for me. Debating about things is entertaining for me. So there is some selfishness to everything that we choose to do. So just because we're selfish does not mean we can't build a society that uses that selfishness in order to force people to do good things as well. Um, I do believe we have to make rules to force ourselves to help each other, because eventually the horror will come to your doorstep, right? It will eventually. You only can hide so long. You only can keep people down for so long until the same thing is happening to you. So, hey, even God couldn't keep the horror from its doorstep, right? Like, the whole story of the Bible is God effing up, right? That's literally the whole story, man. If you really, oh God, if you really think about it, that is the whole story. There's like the whole Bible is just God messing up, people messing up, and it's everybody just messing up. It's crazy, crazy. Interesting though. Hey, what up, Buck? Welcome back. What up? What up? Thanks for joining. Buck in the house. I realize I don't have to talk as loud. Yeah, this is pretty good coffee in my sexy cup. Or sorry, my super fine cup. It's blurred out like it's something bad, but it's hilarious. You'll join up, yeah? Just whenever. We're chilling for now. Hey, I'm doing good, Buck. Really good, man. Hope you're doing well also. How was that concert? I'm yelling again. I don't even have to yell. Like, this microphone is so good. Like, this is This is me kind of whispering right now. Is it still loud? Because I'm literally whispering right now. This is like how good a shotgun mic is. But it's like it's hard for me to not speak loudly, I guess. I can literally just whisper like this, but now it feels weird because I'm not talking louder than usual. It's actually harder to talk this low. It's kind of weird. Crap, I'm almost out of coffee. I'm gonna need round 2 of coffee already. We did have Credence that said they're gonna join up, so that's cool. We'll give them time to prepare and get ready to join up. Like I said, I made the stream a little darker today. Right? This is a dark, dark story here. Let me show you all this picture again in case you missed it. Look how mad that God is. Mad at who? At us. Mad why? Because we didn't do what it wanted us to. Because it made us have free will, some say. Even though it knew free will would cause it to be mad. Look at that. Look how angry. That's a pretty cool looking picture, by the way. I like it. Wow, I got to be an entire 25%. Yeah. Hey, we're a small little group here, so it's okay. We're growing though. We're gonna keep growing, guys. I'm gonna keep making content because I like making content. You guys, since we are a small group though, make sure you click those buttons because the YouTube algorithm's gonna be like, oh shit, his lives really suck because he has little amount of people in here and they ain't hitting that like button. Also, share it. I've been getting a lot of good comments in my videos about people discovering the channel and enjoying it, telling me it's a little bit different than what they're used to, which is what I want. I want to be a little bit different. So that's been cool to hear. God and the devil are the same person. I was talking to a buddy of mine at work, and maybe it was off of this stream, but it was the fact that it's, I guess it would be like a demiurge type thing, right? I think I made a video on this before. I know it was about Alex O'Connor was speaking on this to where there's like the God that we know is literally the evil God. And I guess like it's for people that still want the Jesus story to be true in a way, because Jesus came to actually save us from that God. And that's why Jesus technically doesn't speak about the Yahweh God, right? And that's why Jesus hints at that you can be like him, right? You will be like you would be one with the Father like I am, right? Like that's a hint at the, we will be gods. Tim mention? I don't think so. Rethinking Jesus. Let me look him up. Let's see. Is this YouTube? See. Rethinking Jesus. I spent decades in evangelical Christian and deconstructed. I can't talk. Deconstructed decades ago. I'll put him on my list. I'm down. I'm always up for new stuff. I'll put him on my watch list. Is there a certain video you think is good? What should I start with? Give me the best video he's got. Give me the best. Also, if you haven't seen the videos today, do me a favor and go check them out. I said I accidentally had one come out too early. So it's performing okay, but YouTube's really big on you got to hit the perfect spot at the perfect time for the algorithm to push your stuff. I've been looking at a lot of the analytics. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm pretty good at finding the patterns. I just have to be able to find it first. I mean, I just said that. Once I had to do some studying first to find it, but yeah, George Carlin, definitely seen a lot of his stuff. There's a let me check my history here. There was one gentleman I saw put on because I'm gonna do a video on him because it was like this comedian having an interview. Let me check my playlist real fast. I have a playlist and then I have a react to.
Maybe you can tell me what
I got a bunch. I got a bunch to catch up on. Why do I have one of my own videos on here? That's hilarious. I actually don't see it. I have to go look at it again. I'll find it, but there's some comedian. I think he's like a British comedian. Not Ricky Gervais, not that guy. He's funny as hell too. All right, we got Weeping Spirits. Let me put my headset on, mess up my hair time. See what Weeping has to say. All right. Do this, do a pop out. There we go. Let me unmute myself. What's up? Welcome. Oh, he dropped out. Maybe he's not ready to talk yet. We'll give him some time. Let me know when you're ready, and then I'll pull you back up. I forgot to get my notepad out too. Gotta have my notepad. Notepad plus plus. Aubrey Young, thanks for subscribing there. We don't have any. These are old notes, so. Ooh, we got a lot. Old notes, so we're gonna take notes during our discussions. Anybody that says a verse, we're gonna put that verse in here so we can all read what we're talking about. Is that God is good? 38%. I think many people. It's hard to defend, man. It's I don't know who's going to be able to defend this correctly, right? Like if we read the book I mean, it's going to be really tough to find spots where God is good. That's all. I don't know. That's all I can say on that. It's going to be tough, but I'm down to listen. I am down to listen. Like if you can show me some. I think some of the excuses are going to be like mercy or something, right? I think that's the only thing people might be able to have some proof in the Bible on is mercy, right? You can twist it around like all loving. I have something for that as well. Like because they call God the Father, right? So technically, God should have good traits of a father, or what we would recognize as good traits of a father. So there's some stuff I want to discuss on that. And oh, okay. If you're ready now, I'll pull you back up. Yeah, you had dropped out, so it's all good. I figured you just weren't ready, so I was just waiting. All right, guys. So we have Weeping Spirit coming up. What's up? Gotta unmute yourself. Currently says you're muted. Make sure your mic is set up correctly. You got to go to the Discord settings and all that good stuff. If you don't use Discord much, should be a little microphone at the bottom. Holy Spirit is charging up. All right, all right. We'll see. Said I think this is a good discussion. All right, you're unmuted. Now we just gotta hear you. Can't hear you yet. God may not be good, but he's trying. Yeah. All right. Well, then that takes away the all powerful, I guess. I don't think you have to try much if you're all powerful, but might be another subject. Looks like Weeping's still figuring out some audio, which is fine. Take your time, buddy. You are on the stage. Let me work on my stage voice, or sorry, my DJ voice. Hey, who's that 33% that said God is good? Just go ahead and get into the waiting room. You can be next. Don't forget to click your buttons. Not sure how long we'll do this. It'll just be as long as we have a conversation, and then we'll go from there. Let me make sure my audio is correct while I'm talking mess about yours. But you're not turning green, which means you're not speaking. So your little thing would be turning green right here. Being all powerful was just spin doctor stuff. Trump does the same thing, and everyone lets him get away with it. Yeah. Man, I can talk about Trump all day. Usually, I don't go there, but I can talk about that shit all day. I can't believe people still support that man. Like, it just honestly, it's the same thing as this. It's the same thing as this right here, right? Trump is not good. Just stop by, thumbs up, and say happy Pride. Hey, what's up, Zarion? Zarion? Thanks for stopping in, man. Thank you. What are you going to watch some World Cup? Aid. Are you okay over there, weeping? Are you preparing a long speech for me? I feel like you're preparing something up for me, huh? Oh, you're disconnected a little bit. Oh, you're starting your cam. We got a cam coming in. All right. Yeah, hey, if you want to join and show your face, that's cool too. I'm expecting something good though. You must be getting really prepared. Got something for me. Oh, let me get my red pen to match the background. Get my red one. There we go. Looks better now. I was watching this movie last night. It's old. Cruel Intentions. It's like maybe God's like that. Like those people knew they were doing bad, but they felt like there was a purpose to it. They're doing good. And they're all like all the mistakes they were making in the movie were to hide or trying to pretend that they were actually good people. So they made more and more mistakes trying to cover it up. Nah, actually they were just really bad. I don't think that works. They were just actually just like evil ass people. Never mind. Take it back. There's evil ass people. I mean, God's definitely trying to. I don't know if God's trying to cover up. God just blames people, right? Which is always weird to me. And this ties into the whole uh if God's supposed to be a father figure, which I don't know why it would be a father figure, right? If God is supposed to be a parental figure, there are a lot of parental traits that we all would say this is a bad parent. Looks like we lost weeping. What the heck was that? I don't know why my chat just started over like that. That's weird. Weeping, you dropped out, so I'm gonna put you back in here real fast. I think you keep moving yourself out. Or not. Okay. What happened to the chat? Why did it start over? The heck? I don't know. We got some technical issues going on. All right. Well, while Weeping is figuring it out, if anybody else wants to join the chat, defend, you can defend this. Or, no, not defend it. If you can give me some reasons why I'm wrong, Light might be too damn bright. Let me search. It's like this, Dave, because we can talk about a story, right? And right now we're talking about the character in the story. So I think we can still say if the character is a good character or not, right? We could play some fan fiction or not fan, yeah, like we can do some fan fiction type stuff. And whether the story is true or not, I think we can talk about the character, right? I think it's pretty straightforward as far as like the Bible God definitely not being coherent, right? Contradicts itself, which means it doesn't exist in that way. Does that mean there's no God? No. But I think we can be pretty certain that the one described is not it. Because if this Bible God existed, it would still be like it was during the times that these stories were created. God would still just be showing up all the time. There would be no divine hiddenness, right? It makes no sense that all of a sudden there is just divine hiddenness when there was no divine hiddenness throughout all of the Bible, right? So I think that destroys the story right there on its own. There's literally no reason for God to not just be popping up everywhere and still talking to people and all that. Weeping, if you're still in the chat, let me know what's up. I see you still in the Discord, so let me know what's up. Anyone else jump on in? Exclamation point Discord. Get click that link. Come chat with me. We don't have 3 hours of just sitting here, but I'm not trying to bore anybody. So if we don't end up having some chatting and it's basically going to be like a short stream with just me interacting with the chat, and then that'll kind of be it. Because I do like to go make my videos too. What gatherings do you speak of, sir? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not up to date on gatherings. Arc encounters protest. Let's look that up. Let me see. Arc encounters protest. Kentucky, Williamson Town. Primarily organized by atheist and science advocacy groups like the Tri-State Free Thinkers during its 2016 opening. Demonstrates often, number dozen, obscure protests. Huh. Interesting. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I got a vacation coming up. I'm ready for it. Is God better than the Joker from Batman? How about the Penguin? Is God better? Like better at being bad? You'll be there? Nice. Are you from Kentucky, or do you just fly out there, or how do you go? Like, we're talking about, is God a better villain? I don't know. Or, like someone said earlier, the whole God that we know could just be the devil. And a good villain will always tell you what they're going to do. In every movie, the villain gives the story about what they're going to do. So if we read the Bible tells you that you will be you can be tricked, right? Let me just put it blanketed like that. The Bible says you can be tricked, right? It's almost like they're just like in movies where like the villain always, there's like some secret hidden rule that the villain always has to tell the hero what they're going to do. The villain has to give the hero a chance, right? Uh-oh, Patal in the house. Welcome back. I was waiting on you to join. You're a part of this stream now, you know. I was waiting on you to join. All right. Looks like our buddy Weeping Spirit is having too many issues, so it looks like they're not joining. You drive there, you're from Ohio. Okay. Yeah, that's not too far. God is good as regarding showing humans unconditional love. Step on up, Patal. Let's talk about this unconditional love. I think me and you would have some different opinions on what unconditional love would be. And I feel like unconditional love would not be sending your son to die, by the way. That does not sound like love. If I go sacrifice my son, that's not unconditional love. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. That's not even love. You're so right. I shouldn't even say that's not unconditional love. That's not even love. Yeah. Uh, you're done. I'm done with the tree work. Was that meaning you wanted to hop in, Buck? Is that what you're saying? The guy that picked up some sticks. Oh, on the Sabbath? Is that what we're talking about? Story of the Sabbath guy gets stoned for picking up some damn sticks. How dare you? How dare you pick up sticks? Oh, we can stop God? Hey, that's a new one. But the interesting part of that is I do have another video where I talk about Judas should actually be considered a hero, right? Somebody had to be Judas, right? That's a very interesting subject, right? If the only way for us to be saved was for Jesus to be crucified, there had to be someone that was willing to step up and do the job of Judas, right? Because could it have been any other way? Something to think about. All right, we lost our first caller, so step on up, guys. Oh, not the Bible sticks. I'm cutting a tree in my yard. Oh, is it the tree of knowledge of good and evil? He said, "Yeah, I like you, Buck. You'll play around, so it's cool, man. You can joke, so that's cool. I know you still believe in this like this, but it's not exactly this, but it's funny. I like that you can joke. Yeah, the Gospel of Judas. I have done some reading into that as well. That's another thing about how many books or how many writings, or there weren't books at the time, right? They weren't books until they were all put together, but how much writing that there was during that time where it was just so many people coming up with their own versions of the story, and how most of that it was probably lost and taken out, right? And if we had never found the Dead Sea Scrolls, how much would have been lost, by the way? It's kind of crazy. And then what's funny, I forgot what I was just listening to, but the fact that there were a bunch of stories about Enoch, right? And all of those other stories that aren't in the Bible in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So we found a bunch of that shit, right? So it's like, wait, why aren't those stories the actual what's the word? Like the main books in the Bible? Like if we found the Dead Sea Scrolls and it has all these other stories more than any other, why aren't those considered actual scriptures? Satan is behind all evil people. All right. Well, that's still God's fault. We already talked about that. That was our last stream, Patal. I think I already destroyed that argument that if Satan is at fault, then God is at fault as well. Yeah, canon versus a apocryphal. Apocryphal. But either way, what really should happen is all of the writings should just be in one book, and man should have never picked out what was what. They should have just gave us everything all together and let the truth be the truth. It wouldn't take man's interpretation there. If it's from God, it would have just came out how it is, right? But nope, we had to gather people together and we had to decide what we wanted in society, and that's the books you get, really. Does this add up to the story that I want? Yep, pick that book. This doesn't add up to the story I want to tell. Oh, throw away that book. This group over here doesn't really believe what we believe. Oh, kill those people. Well, if it's a sin to remove from the Bible, then they removed a lot of shit from the Bible, Patal. So, I mean, you're agreeing with me then. I guess we got an agreement. Yay. I knew you would agree with me one day. Knew it would happen. Let me look up the what was the well, how should I word that? What book was found in the old, like in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the most? Well, like how many copies? Most of it's Old Testament. I forgot about that. Which I guess Enoch would have been the Old Testament as well, right? Actually, the most copied was Psalms. I think that makes sense because it's just a bunch of poems, basically. And that's like, it would make sense for Psalms to be copied and distributed because it's supposed to be like, you know, worship and prayer and about community. So I could see why that would be one of the most highly coveted uh, books, right? My thing is, where in the Bible does it tell the people to just create what they created, right? Is that somewhere? And if I'm wrong, let me know. I'll be learning something right now. Does does the Bible say anywhere that they were supposed to gather up all of these stories and put it somewhere? Right? Who told them to do that? Isaiah is, it looks like third on the list. So let me copy this here. So to our notepad, so you can see that's what we have there. Let's see how many copies of Enoch were in there. Remember, guys, we lost our caller, so anybody want to join? Let me know. All right. Yes, copies, fragments of the Book of Enoch were found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Specifically, they found Aramaic fragments of one Enoch of Qumran, mostly in Cave 4. A common count is about 11 copies slash fragments of Enochic writings. I love the stories of Enoch. I need to reread those. They're very interesting. All right, since we don't have any believers that are tough enough to jump up in here, let's discuss something else. So, what I would like to discuss what is considered good, but if you really think about it, is not good, right? And then there's something at the end I'm gonna leave you guys with because I want y'all to think about it. Oh yeah, come on up, Buck. You're always welcome. Uh, so I got something at the end that I'm gonna have everybody think about real quick. I think we're gonna start seeing people talk about this subject a little bit more because there's something that's not talked about a lot that I was thinking about last night, and it'll make you think. Not gonna say it just yet. I'm gonna make you stick around and wait for it a little bit. We started the Book of Enoch in Ethiopia. That's true. I forgot what I was watching. but it was talking about how for a very long time before we found the Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest writings we had were actually in the Ethiopian Bible. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but I remember hearing that. So. All right, so we're gonna have Buck step up to the plate. Buck's always willing, so welcome. Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey man, sorry I interrupted hey, how you doing? How did sorry I interrupted. You were in the middle of something when I was connecting.
You're good, man. I'm talking to fill space, so I know what I'm gonna talk about, so we're all good.
Now I'm still space. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's
No,
funny,
that's all
man.
good, man. How you been, man? How's things?
Good, man. Doing good. I'm off every Friday, so I always enjoy these days. It just feels great.
Uh,
so
nice.
so
Nice.
just
I'm
just
not
chilling.
usually off on Fridays, but I got Friday off this week, so I was able to do a
Is
little yard work and whatever.
is that for you're taking it off for the World Cup as well? All right. Is it the World Cup? What is going on? Is it the World
really.
Cup? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a football
I
fan.
guess that's what's happening. Well, there's the WrestleMania. I guess isn't that this weekend too?
WrestleMania. I forgot about that stuff, man. WrestleMania. I used
Yeah,
to
in the
I
White
used to
House.
watch wrestling, bro. It's at the White House? What?
Yeah. That was the whole birthday thing or something. He's doing some wrestling show or something.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. No way.
I know, isn't it crazy?
God, this has turned
I'm trying
into
to jump on it, and you just can't.
idiocracy is happening at this very moment. That movie is happening. I can't believe it. If that's what's going on
Yeah,
right now, holy shit. All right, man. What you got on the subject here? Let's not get off subject, I guess.
yeah, that's true. All right.
What you got?
So God is good or not. Um, well, I would have to say God is typically good. Now, I guess, yeah, there's probably a good point for us to sit down and decide what is good, and is eternal life good with regard to that sort of thing. Does that mean? What would make it good? I mean, if it's like this, we're probably better off dying, right? That could be a heaven of its own.
So your thoughts are which part? Are you asking me a question? Let me.
I guess I'm asking what our definition of good and bad is
Okay.
going to be. Because I mean, sure, it's sad that an animal would have to die, and even a painful death. But if it is able to provide nutrients to the ground and then bring forth new life, is it really a horrible thing?
I would say it would depend. It's because remember we're talking about God here. So if it's not necessary for there to be the pain, I would say that's not good.
I would agree with you, but I also want to say that we need to take our understanding of what our understanding of God is. Now, if we look at it from an atheistic point of view, where there's no God, well, then that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's to me, if there's no God, it's kind of strange for me because I don't really think there's such thing as good or bad. It's all of the description, and if humans are any thinking beings like us, maybe there are some other ones. I think maybe dolphins, maybe octopus. Like I heard they're pretty freaking intelligent.
Yeah.
Maybe there would still not be any if like all of those kind of thinking things. Like just to say there was roaches on the earth, I don't think there's such thing as good or bad. Like let me just make it simple like that. Like if it was only
Okay.
if only roaches lived on the earth, there's no such thing as good or bad.
Right. Well, not from our perspective, but what about Roach's perspective? Would he
Well,
not
that well,
like cold winters?
my
Yeah.
my point to that was like, I mean, good and oh, I get what you're saying. Good question. I mean, good or bad as far as what we consider morals, not necessarily
Okay.
good or bad. Like, oh, that um, like a roach. Like, do I like the cold outside or not? Like, I think those are
Well, I
different.
mean, that cold is a type of suffering. If I mean, we can definitely
So
account for people who've suffered in the cold, but and other animals,
right,
not
but
just humans doing anything.
if I forced you into the cold, now it makes it bad. Is cold necessarily bad? No. If I go knowing you will be harmed, then yes, now cold is bad. But is it really cold that's bad, or is it the actions that I'm taking? And I'm saying it's the
Well,
action that makes it bad.
okay, and I do want to qualify that our understanding of God is our own personal understanding of what it means to be God, and He's got human traits because we personify Him, even though we know He, it, whatever is beyond that. At least that's what we tell ourselves, right? So we can say, well, He's just a mysterious being.
I wish
Sure,
people would
but
say that and mean it though, right?
well, I mean, well, yeah. I mean, look, I think that what it is there's a lot of people who feel that their understanding is what everybody's understanding should be. That's the problem. I think is more than anything is the fact that people have this arrogance that you need to listen to me.
Do you think your version of God is correct?
I don't know.
Mm,
I hope so,
okay,
but I could be wrong. I have to honestly say I don't know.
cool. That's fair.
Because
Yeah.
part of that is faith, is the fact that there's faith involved. And if you don't have faith, well, if you have facts, you don't have faith, you have facts. You have, you know,
I think faith is only used because we are trying to make God what we want. I think that's
well,
why it's like a secret weapon that they we've known about it since civilization started or since we started communicating with each other. I feel
okay.
like that's just a part of the manipulation. We figured out that we need to be able to manipulate, and then faith is just another form of manipulation, right? Because we should not need faith at all if there is a truth. That's how I look at it. If there's a truth, screw faith. Faith is just to get me to the next day because I don't know what's going to happen, right? And
I
then
think, I
go
think,
ahead. Yep.
I think faith though can actually motivate you in the right way if it's used properly for yourself. I mean, not so much to control the masses. That's the thing I'm seeing is that people are using faith because so many people want to be told what to believe rather than think about what makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was just
That
saying. I don't know if you heard that example. Like that, like having faith can get me to work tomorrow or Monday just because I need to do it, right? I need to motivate myself. Like, oh, I just like, it's going to get
good.
better. It's going to get better, right? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if there was just a truth, right? Like, say I knew for sure tomorrow that it was not going to be good. It doesn't even matter about the faith part. Like, let's just say I actually knew what was going to happen tomorrow. Faith is irrelevant, right?
Um, right. I mean, yeah. If you absolutely knew, then you don't need to wonder about it.
So why is faith needed at all? Right? Like now we're talking about God again, right? Why do we need to have
Well,
faith?
well, when it comes down to it, faith is pretty fundamental in all of your beliefs. When it comes even to the fact that you have faith that you're going to get up in the morning tomorrow, whatever relative
When you say
idea
faith, do
of
you just mean like I have evidence that sways me towards that being more likely? Is that what you mean by faith? Because I'm talking about faith as in
mm,
you literally have no proof at all. That's what I think faith is.
um
Do
no,
you,
I think you're look, I think cognitively everybody is developing their very own faith. I think a lot of people are afraid to to spread that or to understand it that way because it does make it a lot more messy. It's not if one God said everything and we all followed all the same rules and we all believed the same thing, then I mean, you're right. What's the point of faith?
Say that again?
But because we have to maneuver through this myriad of your belief and my belief and my wife's belief and the neighbor's belief, that we have to understand the same things, but we don't have to. We can understand things differently because you have a whole different experience than what I have.
Right, but now we're not
And
talking
that's not to
about
take
faith
away from
again. We're talking about how much evidence does Jay have versus Buck, and then now we both go and look at a situation.
well,
That is no longer faith,
faith
right?
in well, it depends. Faith in what? Do we have faith that I'm going to be able to drive this hammer through this block of wood, or do we have faith that I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, which are two different things? And so what are we having putting our faith in?
Yeah, I think
You
we
know,
have. I think we have different
my own
versions of
ability.
what faith is. I think.
I think faith is one of those words that Orwell would try and shy away from because it's not an easily defined word.
Well, are we going to go off of the Bible definition, or what are we doing?
Well, according to the Bible, so what's it's a faith or the belief
Substance of things
in
hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
right.
Do
So
you
you
do
don't
you
see
not
the
take that
evidence
as
manipulated.
of like not knowing? You don't take it that way?
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I do, but I think cognitively you're going to develop a faith based on evidence that you put together in your life
Well,
as
right,
to
but
whether
remember though,
as
we're no longer
whether or not
talking about
God's
faith, right? That's what I'm trying to say here. As soon as we change what you just, as soon as we add evidence, we're no longer talking about faith to me.
no, because evidence doesn't necessarily mean that it's proof. It just means that you have evidence that compels you to believe that. That evidence is not proof. It's
Yeah,
just
it's evidence.
presented
It's evidence.
as evidence for argument or presented as to substantiate, but not so much prove.
Sure, but evidence can lead to a proof, right? We use evidence to get to a proof. Faith will never get you to the
Right.
proof, right?
That's how logic works. That's how logic works. We use all of our all of our input and we put out according to our faith, because when it comes down to it, you can't really know anything except that you exist. The
Oh,
only thing so that's to go beyond that is asserting faith in something being there. When you jump off this cliff, you're not going to fall and die or cease to exist.
okay. I think, and it makes sense what you're doing. I think we're mixing the Bible faith and then adding what we in society take use faith as now. I don't think if we went kind of back to the biblical days, I would assume they didn't use faith like we use it. They literally would have meant faith.
I think this, and I think this is the problem even with today, that a lot of people manipulate faith for their own means, meaning church guidance, power, money, whatever, um, influence. All of those things are the negative influence, and I think that's what Jesus was really pointing out, was saying, look, these Pharisees are exploiting your faith. They're telling you what to
Yes,
do, what to believe, how to say, how to walk,
because faith
and
allows
they're
them to
not.
do that, right? Like the whole
Um,
premise of needing faith is what can be used as the manipulation. If that wasn't in the Bible, if the Bible said screw
well,
faith,
I
find
think that's why
proof.
bad. I think that's why bad actors. I don't think that. I think the thoughts Look, I think scripture is fallible
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you
because they
believe
were
that.
written
Yep.
by men. They
Yep.
were transcribed by men. They were translated by men, and with a lot of different reasons to do the things that they did
Yep.
that we can't possibly know to have a solid understanding of what something means. But I do think that we all sort of put some things together. So with morality, for instance, um, what guides a morality and what is good or bad, and what about people who have a different idea of what morality is,
Well,
i.e.,
sure. Remember,
serial
already
killers
I
or
said that already. Like, morality, good, bad, is all subjective. We make that stuff up,
right.
which is why in ancient times they thought stuff was good that we no longer think. In the future, they'll probably think a lot of the stuff that we did is horrible. It's all
So the,
subjective.
but there's a couple things here, and there's good and bad people within politics, meaning it makes sense that we have an organization of social rules that we use to get along with each other. Um, it just makes sense that we do that because I believe most people, as the saying goes, most people are born slaves, but no man's uh, um, qualified to rule anyone. But there's a lot of people who have that mentality, and somebody who takes the position of control over a slave group, and however you want to identify slave, and I'm using it pretty broadly as far as just the idea of someone submitting to your will.
But I could submit to somebody's, like, their will, but I could do it willingly if this is a person I consider good. So it that to me that wouldn't
Yep.
technically mean slavery at all. Like, the slavery part would be, no, you're
But
forced to submit to me. That's different. And that's what God does, by the way.
um,
And that would tie into why God isn't good, because God forces you to love it. That's not good.
well, um, he doesn't force you to love him. You can hate him if you want. Apparently, that's the
Yeah,
free will
but
argument, right?
well, no, but
Now,
it wouldn't be that way,
now,
right? Like, say you can, my
well,
wife
you
could
have a
leave me,
choice. You have
right? Like,
consequences.
if I tell my wife that she cannot leave me, or, like, how some people like, hey, if I can't have you, no one
Yeah.
can. That's what God says.
Right. Right.
That's God.
Right.
That's not.
If
That's
some
evil, right?
let's
That's
let's
evil.
let's back up a little bit. Now let's talk about a society that's worried about other societies coming in and crashing in on your parade, killing your men and taking your women away. Like I
Okay,
said,
like the
we're in a culture
Israelites.
with other people doing the same thing.
Okay, go ahead.
And we put our faith in Yahweh in order to build the society and create these rules and whatever. And as a well-thinking, well-intentioned politician, I'm going to put these rules into place so we have civil defense, so we have civil uh, ordinances and civil ways to deal with the civil population.
Sure, we're gonna have rules.
And other people are going to take some of those same rules and manipulate them in order to gain power or gain money or gain something. And that's where corruption comes in. And that's something that is warned about when God tells Israel, well, okay, you guys want kings now instead of judges. Here's the deal. You're going to deal with this, this, and this, which is corruption and uh, um,
And I think this ties into your, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, your belief is that God is for sure limited, though. So that's why this makes sense to you, right?
right. I do believe there's limitations to God because I think he allows them. Whether he allows them or not, it doesn't matter. He's certainly allowing it now. He's allowing that he's limited with regard to stepping in or whatever. If that's what we're looking for, but I do think that
So
having faith and
should I
having
punish somebody for my limitations?
no, absolutely not. No, you
So,
should. Well,
but
that's
that's
my
what
belief.
God, but that is
My
what
belief.
God does, right? I know you said there's consequences, right? But the
I think.
consequence
I
of
think.
God creating me is still God's fault. Like, right? As soon as God made me, that makes everything God's fault. Like
So,
I
that's
can't.
interesting. Are we put here? Are we put here to face a test, or are we just, or what? I mean,
why?
that's a
Well,
wondering.
I mean, I guess you're just saying as a
Why
question,
are
like
we
a
put
real
here? Are we
question,
here to
right?
face the? Yeah, I'm like, why are we here? Are we here to? I mean, there's a few things I've heard: to worship God, to um, to multiply and subdue the earth, and
Which is
I've heard
that's
that
silly in
we're
its
here.
own, right? Like, like God just like
Right.
God made two things to
I mean,
multiply.
a
Hey
lot
guys,
of
go
these.
multiply. Like, I don't know. This sounds weird.
Well, and yeah, and that's silly too.
Yeah.
Like, who was Cain's wife?
Oh yeah,
Why was she
yeah.
worried
There's
about
yeah,
stuff?
that goes in there.
Right.
But
Okay. But so I do think though that these things were written down as a means to give people a story, a culture, a camaraderie, and an obedience. Because I do think most people want to follow some sort of obedience, and the problem is that some people don't think
I got something for
critically
you
about their own
to
submission. Yeah.
work off of what you just said. There's a reason why in our societies we focus on obedience and why naturally we would be inclined to focus on obedience. And that has to do with the fact that you can die, right? So the first
I, I
part of
agree.
nature would be like, hey, if all the beings that survive would be the ones that had some kind of discipline, right? The other ones would have
Yeah.
died off, right? So it makes sense in a
Right, because
natural
they go headlong into
perspective.
whatever.
Correct. It makes sense in a natural perspective, but it does not make sense in the God perspective.
Because we're personifying God for whatever reason. I think God put things into motion, and I don't think that he's punishing us for Adam's sin. I think this was its design.
I mean,
Whatever
to
that
be fair, that
means.
story is obviously a story. Like it just has to be a story. Like I don't know anyone that really believes that story anymore. And if you do, I'm just surprised. But I don't see how
Right.
anyone
Well,
believes the story of Genesis
that's
at all.
that's the dogma that we're facing. So so that's one of the things the guy I sent you to check out.
Yeah.
He's got some interesting concepts as far as being less dogmatic, not necessarily buying into Trinity. Let's look at the words that Jesus said, the red letters, and stick with that and drop the rest of the Bible. I mean, I don't know that I'd go that far because it's
I would be okay
fascinating
with
literature,
that
and I do think
if
that
we could prove that, right? There's no proof that those are actually Jesus's
that's
words.
and and then that's faith, right? I mean,
And faith is bad. That's
faith is
what.
bad.
Yes, yes. If you have to
Well,
do
but
faith, I would rather not have to have faith. I would rather just be able to know. So I will gain as much knowledge as possible in order to not live my life off of faith. I don't know if I spoke to you this before. When I was at the height of my belief, faith almost destroyed my life. Having faith is dangerous. Like if you only have faith, that is a very dangerous thing. You would do a lot of stupid crap because you'll be like,
well,
God will protect me. God has a way. Those are the people, and like especially my people, like that's why like
mhm,
they're like the black culture was forced into this faith. In America, by the
mhm,
way, this is America. Like that's why black
right.
people are the most religious people, and sadly, black people are some of the poorest groups, if not the poorest group in America. And a part of this was an indoctrination of just having faith, believing in God. God will find a way. This is how they kept slaves. I'm sure you've heard of the slave
Right. That
Bible.
plus not putting out Exodus.
So it's just like it's a dangerous thing when you have a society that is just based off of faith. It's very dangerous. So I don't teach my
So
kids to have faith.
so
I
let me
say,
say
no,
this.
let's find something that proves what we think can happen tomorrow, not let's hope what happens tomorrow.
So let me ask you this. Do you believe that your microphone is working right now?
Yes. Yes. Well, I
And
know it's
and the
working.
evidence
Sorry, I
that you
know it. I
have to
actually know it's working. Let me say it that way. It's working
you
because
know it's working. You know
yes,
it's working because you can hear me respond to you in
yes.
somewhat
So let me say
coherently.
I know. Belief is different than no to me. So I know it's working.
Well. So here's the thing, though: is the reason you come to that knowledge or that faith that actually is going to happen, because you don't necessarily know that a transistor just burned out right now,
Yeah, it could be broken. My
and
next
I
word.
can't hear a word you're saying after that.
Yeah, it could be broken the
Huh?
very next. It can be broken the very next word. Yes.
And so the point is to say that you're going along in your sentence and you have faith that this is getting out there, but all of a sudden you're following a faith that is no longer true. So I guess the
But I
point of
would
saying is
instantly
that
change. I would
logically,
instantly change once the evidence showed me. I would.
sure, because that's what we do. We take evidence and we build a faith in what's going to happen next because of what
We
we've seen in the past and how we've dealt with it before,
Yeah, but
and
faith is
all of the
different to me.
information that we
Remember,
have. And
like
huh?
having an educated guess isn't faith to me.
No. But you have to have the faith to act. I think in order to act as though your voice is being heard across the internet, you have to act as in faith to some extent, even if it's the faith of
You're,
letting people turn it on
I
again.
mean, I understand your version of faith. I do. I think somebody
And
just put it in chat
that's what
real
I'm
fast.
saying.
It's like it's probability. I think you're using faith in the way of probability, and
And it
you're
is.
saying that's
It is.
faith, right?
I'm
And
saying that is faith. It's we put together a bunch of evidence to follow something and have faith in the fact that my car is going to get me to work, that my webcast is going to go out with no problem, or whatever. And until something changes our evidence and changes our worldview, we're going to have to stick with that on a faith level. Um, uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
and if it goes off without a hitch, well, then you had wonderful success with faith. But I think people try and put faith in a lot of things. It's to say, well, you got to believe what God believes. Well, who knows what God believes,
Well, oh, okay.
right?
I'm sorry. I thought you were because we were talking about slavery. How did this tie in? I thought you were wrapping it back to slavery.
I'm talking about slavery as a mindset, meaning even if you want to use the term, well, redemption. The whole concept of redemption as being a slave and being bought by a better master. So we're supposed
A
so
better
the
master.
cost of
What is it?
yeah,
Wait,
because
wait.
the cost of or true master, whatever position you want to put it, God. So Jesus's sacrifice was so that we can, as Christians, present ourselves to God as unblemished because he suffered for our sins I mean, there's a whole big theology about this, but that's what they're saying all this faith is about. But no, we put together some evidence
Okay,
and we
as
start having faith in the right things, which would be
what did you think the
what we're
slaves
actually
had faith
supposed to do
in?
with each other.
What did you think the slaves had faith in?
Well, I mean, to start with, he has faith that he's going to get up the next morning.
What do you think the highest
Maybe he has
priority
faith
is?
that,
The very highest priority for
well,
the
food.
slave would be what?
I think I think being fed well is his
You
highest
don't
priority.
you don't
I
think
mean,
being free? like, like you don't think the first thing is
well,
like,
do you
man, I
think
want to be free.
would he suffer? Well, would he eat first, or I mean, come on, you got to eat. You
Uh
can't go out
I
to
bet you
rebel
there's
without a
I
an
bet you there's
ancestor.
tons of slaves that ran away hungry.
Oh, I'm sure they ran
Because
away hungry.
right, what I'm saying, like there would have been that would be your first thought is, man, the day I can be free.
Yes. Um, I mean, yes. I mean, that would. I mean, I was definitely going to say that first, even. But I was thinking, well, on a daily, you want to start with, maybe breakfast. Maybe you don't have
And
faith if you're going to have breakfast, and
here's
that would
here's a
cause you to
reason I'm
live.
saying this real fast because I want to wrap my thought right real fast. Is because the reason I'm saying that is there's a reason why in the slave Bible and in the black community you are taught that suicide is bad. Suicide, sorry, I don't know if you could say that on YouTube, but you are taught that it's bad, right? Like
Right.
you're
And
and that was a way of keeping people that would have just offed themselves. That's a big
true.
thing.
And
And I remember
also,
growing up, that was one of the biggest things you would hear in a black church is that is one of the worst things you can do. Right. And that's taught, and that was taught
and
from
a
our
lot of churches say
ancestors, right?
that.
That was taught from our ancestors that, hey, because they didn't want slaves killing themselves. They needed
Well,
slaves to keep
it's never
going.
been a good idea to kill yourself
I mean,
in the church's eyes, unless it was for martyrdom.
no. I'm saying it wasn't. Let me look up myself up real fast. I don't think it was considered this mortal sin until around that time.
I might have to contest that. It was
Yeah,
about the
no,
time. I
definitely.
know
I
in
want to. Like, I don't know if it was
pretty much
considered this
throughout the
horrible
entire
thing.
Christian world, suicide was bad.
Yeah, let me look myself up. You go ahead and continue while I
It's,
look up here.
yeah, suicide was bad for throughout history, at least
Do you know a verse that
since
says that or no?
um.
I'm looking too, by the
No,
way.
I
I'm just
don't.
trying. Okay, that's fine. I'm not trying
I
to put you
don't
on the
know.
spot or anything. Just asking.
No, that's
Uh,
cool. That's cool. No,
yeah,
I don't know the book by heart.
yeah, you're good. I used to know this so much
uh,
better.
uh, but I, I guess well, first of all, I'm talking about slavery more as a concept. And yeah, aren't we always looking for freedom, even freedom from my job, so I don't have to do this horrible job anymore? I mean,
Sure,
the
but
concept, the language of
guess
slavery.
what your job tries to get you
eh,
to do too? Stay there. It's all like it's all the same
Exactly.
manipulation, right?
The original word that we get in the Bible, that servant, is also the same word that it uses for slave. Wherever you see slave in the Bible, it also says the same thing for servant.
I do not
So it's
believe
just a
that
matter of translation preferences that
I I
change the
I disagree with that
I'm
part.
God's
There's no
servant,
way that God
and
would
it's
go free his people from being servants.
so the word was slave. It meant the same thing.
No, but I'm
There
saying like
wasn't a
if
distinction in the language.
because being a servant is not bad.
And
If I have a maid or something like that, like they can be considered a servant. That's not bad.
right.
Being a slave is bad.
Wherein you start to get Jesus's interpretation of how we're supposed to treat our servants. We don't leave them outside and let them
Servant,
starve. We let them
servant and slave
eat at
different
the
book, right?
family table.
But remember,
Huh?
slave and servant are different book.
And in English now, the word in Hebrew was always the same thing. It was slave. We've translated it because it sounds worse when we say slave, and it's better when we say now we're servants to God instead of slaves to sin.
What were the
Do
Israelites
you see the
considered in
wordplay that's
Egypt?
going on there?
No, I get what you're saying,
Huh?
but I'm focusing on the Bible. What did the
Right.
what did the Israel what were the Israelites in Egypt? What were they? What do you think
The
they
word.
were?
Well, if you want to go down that road, I don't know that I buy complete wholesale story from the Bible of
Okay,
what
that's
happened there
if
either.
you think
I
the
think
story is
I think
BS,
it's
then okay, the story is BS. Okay, I mean,
I don't think it's totally BS, dude. I think there's truth within these stories to help the society they came from.
so
I think
why would the
there's
let's work on the
there's
story angle? Why would the story need to be presented that it was good that God freed the Israelites from Egypt? Even if it's just a story, it can be a story, but why what is the moral of the story,
to show why God is good for us. Why God helped us because he helped his people get away from Egypt.
which would
Okay?
be
I
bad
mean, it's
masters, right?
right.
Going back to your what your
But
topic was, they were bad masters, right?
right.
So
Right.
we are saying that
The whole
that would be a bad version of, even if you want to say being a servant, right? They like that was the bad version of it, right?
yes, but linguistically, the same word was used in Hebrew. If you go to the Hebrew and see that, and even through the Greco period, it was the same word. A servant can be translated as both servant and slave.
Yeah,
The
I'm
concept is the
granting that
same.
for you real fast because I don't even,
Okay.
I'm not worried about that part. I'm worried about whether it was bad or whether it was good. We can call it whatever.
Well,
Like, was it
for the
bad or was
story's
it
sake,
good?
it was bad. For the
Right.
story's sake, their servitude in Egypt was bad.
Correct. And
For
that
the
is
story's sake,
that
and
should be our main focus. It was bad.
right, and
What they were
so the
going through
reason
was
we're
bad.
supporting the reason we're supporting Jehovah, Yahweh, is because he is the one who delivered us from Egypt, right? Okay, so that's the story that we're telling to get this group of people to be a cohesive group of people willing to work as a community to
Sure.
raise crops, to take care of textiles, to take care of civil defense.
Okay, so now
Civil
they
defense
got the
is important.
Israelites that are doing the good slavery, or sorry, yeah, we're going to just use both words because you said they're the same. We got the Israelites that after they are freed are using the good slavery for their people, right? Now, let's look at what Israel did to its surrounding people. That was God's command
Right,
again. Like God said, no, you can treat these other people differently. You can treat those other people bad servant way,
right.
in the bad way.
And and who wrote that? Do you think God inspired those words, or do you think a man wrote those words?
Oh, if you're just asking me the real thing, no, obviously it's all made up.
I'm asking you, who do you think wrote those words? Do you think it was
Are
God
are
dictating
we
it?
still pretending or not? Like, like I'm
I'm
pretending
not
that the
pretending. I
story
don't think.
I'm pretending that the story is
I think
true,
a guy.
right? The story's not
Okay,
true. Like the story's not true. No, the story's not true. The story,
but the allegory is important.
men wrote it down in
The
order to
alle-
be. Hold on, men wrote it down in order to be able to say they have a right to go to that other town and do horrible things. That's why it was written down.
right.
Yes, but if you
They
believe in a
manipulated.
God now, right? Like, but if you believe in a God, God did not stop any
They,
of that, which now causes the problem
well,
again. God didn't stop it.
they didn't believe in a God who loved all of us either. They had a God who had definitely had a favorite group,
Yes,
and they weren't the only
God
ones.
is a racist. Jesus is a racist as well.
Right. I would say less so, and he's the one who started breaking down some of
Oh,
that
don't get me
barrier.
wrong.
I'd
He
say
can be
Paul
a
more
he can
so.
like there's different layers of racism, right? Like you can have the worst racist in the
Yeah,
world, and
and
then
that's
there's
part of.
people that are a little bit racist, but they you won't ever know they're
Well,
racist. Jesus was still on the bad end of the
we all
spectrum,
have our
right?
prejudices and biases that we all have to deal with, and
Prejudice.
that's the tricky part is recognizing when it's my prejudice that's getting in my way,
Yeah, yeah, but we're talking about
right?
Jesus, right? Jesus is supposed
Well,
to be above that,
okay.
right? According to you, was Jesus above
Um,
that or no?
I mean, I get so. So the story of Jesus again brings us to another story. Did it happen exactly the same way? I don't know, but I'm more concerned with what this this character who has a pretty good head on his shoulders and has a pretty good understanding of how things should work, at least from my worldview. And I admit this is something that I feel that a lot of the things that Jesus was talking about went against a lot of the organizational warmongering, social separate ideology that was going, a lot more of a socialist sort of ideal. That'll get me in trouble with all the Christians, won't it? Jesus was a socialist.
He was a kind of had some socialist ideas, but he also had some bend to me ideas as well. Like,
And you're
go
right,
ahead.
and you're right, and I do think he was facing a culture that needed to. And does that make it okay? No,
No,
I mean,
no.
if he's God, he should be able to say what the rules are, and if he endorses that, maybe he does endorse something like that. And like we said, we don't understand the differences. But there's always been separate. People have always found ways to separate into groups and then take advantage of their numbers or their popularity or their power. And that's the thing that individually we have to kind of deal with. But that's the thing that most people don't want to, so they'll follow whatever sounds good to them. That's a little piece of the world of Buck.
I mean, but what's interesting when I'm speaking to you, it's like I have to find a way to figure out exactly what you believe, because I feel like which most people are doing this, by the way, is you've created your own pocket religion, right? You've created your own. Do you believe you did that?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, do you feel like you created your own version of
Oh,
this?
yeah. I absolutely had to create a version of God that I could get behind in order to bend the knee.
So, what to me,
Um,
what I'm trying to help everyone focus on is you are using your knowledge, your experience, your evidence to fix the Bible, which means you don't even need the Bible.
well,
You don't need the Jesus story. You don't need any of that, because you are actually the one using your morals from this first
well,
21st century
now
society to come up.
this is what's
You're
really
fixing the Bible.
confusing. Like I said, I don't think everyone who wrote something down was not inspired by God in some way. And I don't think that only the people who were writing at the time had some feeling and understanding and ideas, connection through to a higher power. I don't disbelieve everyone who said they had